You know, sometimes it puzzles me how they can put 3 types of sugar into the same snack. Why do they need 3 types of sugar? This sounds a little bit like a conspiracy, you know, I don't want to go into that, but are the junk food companies conspiring to make people fat and addicted to their food?
They say produce more, okay, we already have more. But we lose 33% around from the countryside, from the farm until the consumer.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I am here with Sofia. How are you, Sofia?
I'm good, and you?
Very good indeed. So Sofia is an agricultural engineer from the University of Cordoba in Argentina, and also is a lady who's been in the community here for like a couple of years at least, yeah, pre-COVID, and everybody knows her. And of course you know that I am a nutritionist and I love talking about food. So today we're going to talk about healthy nutrition and healthy ways to grow food in the fields. First of all, Sophie, what is your story in life? I mean, how did you get into studying agriculture?
I was born in Argentina, in Catamarca, in the mountains, and my father is actually agriculture engineer, and my grandfather too. I decided to study in agriculture actually to understand more the system, and because this career is very big, that we study from the soils to the weather to economic, and it's very like expanding. So it's like there is many details like inside the plants, chemistry, biology, genetic, and also like market and chain products. And so actually was studying how the relationship between us, like human beings, and our biological function in this planet Earth, and how we use actually the natural resources, and how we use also like plants for medicine.
It's a big subject, covering so many aspects of the world, not just agriculture, but also the interaction with the humans and the ecosystem, etc., right?
Yes.
The fact that the plants have their own intelligence, that the ecosystem works in a balanced way, where different plants have a different role and they all work together in a certain way, right?
Yeah, and it's not only plants, also there is mushrooms, there is insects. So when you observe nature, it's like you can see a lot of interactions, and you can see relationships and all the water cycle. Then you understand more like how physics, like temperature and other factors interact, and they create actually life. I think we have 2 options. Like, one, we can support life and create something beautiful ecosystem and create more life, and get in the same time like getting products and service from nature, you know, getting food and medicine, textiles, tinctures, like everything that we have here, everything, it just came from nature.
Sure.
So, oh no, the other option it's actually do the systems and actually modify all the water cycle and the soil, and with this system that is just take, in the end we are destroying nature, we are destroying soil, we are destroying life, biodiversity. And for many years I was observing this, changes that started in Argentina with the Green Revolution in the 70s. They came all this packaging, and they changed actually in Argentina, they changed all the distribution of land, and they came the package of transgenic seeds, they came also direct plantations, so machinery and big areas. So before was communities and it was small farmers, but with industrial agriculture they start to be like concentration of land. And I understand also that where I get the food, it's from supermarkets, and then I start to observe all the plastic that we use when we buy things from supermarket, and also all the chemicals and different products that to get that. And of course, where it's come from, if it's come from a local farmer, or if it's come from for thousands of
kilometers
distance.
away.
So it's like all the chains, like I can see the ecology, so the water footprint, the carbon footprint, and also the relationship with our health and our development. So it's a vision that I have very complex, and then I study, and it's like, okay, what is the problem? What is the solution? And it's like studying and observing different places. Some in Argentina, but then I start to travel to discover and do interviews and to find answers. Because all this permaculture work or agroecology was only like, I could see just people speaking and inspiring, but I want like real places where I can see that it's working and it's people like, it's true. So that's why I start to travel.
Yes, because I think as human beings there is a strong temptation of trying to control nature to our advantage. It is something we always done traditionally. The difference with the advent of the Industrial Revolution is that now we can control nature in much more larger scale. And very often, as you say, you know, when we introduce monoculture, when we change the relationship with the environment, we can produce a lot of food, but you know, it can be detrimental for the environment, it can be non-sustainable, and also you can see how the modern food, so the industrially produced, mass-produced modern food is making us sick. Because from a nutritional perspective, I mean, if you think of the real huge problem of obesity across the world, particularly the Western world, but everywhere now, I think in the United States, which is of course a country I love, and many of our friends are Americans here, so I don't want to pick on the US particularly, but of course it is the most relevant and the most culturally dominant and economically dominant place in the world. So it's good to look at what's happening there. You see about 40% of the population is obese, and if you look at the quality of the food they are eating, it's really low quality. What does it mean, low quality? Which it means mass-produced, processed, filled with ingredients that are come from the lab. Sometimes it puzzles me how they can put 3 types of sugar into the same snack. Why do they need 3 types of sugar? This sounds a little bit like a conspiracy, I don't want to go into that, but are the junk food companies conspiring to make people fat and addicted to their food? I mean, it's debatable. I'm not saying they are, but if you see what's happening, we are so scientifically developed in society, and then obesity is like skyrocketing. Type 2 diabetes, which is another lifestyle disease, is skyrocketing, and at the same time, in many countries, they advertise junk food to children. How is that possible? It's like. And that comes again from this idea of producing more, producing industrially made foods that are addictive in nature, gives instant gratification. So you want to use the land to get quick profit now without thinking about the future. You want to eat something that gives you a glimpse of happiness or a boost of dopamine now without thinking about the effect it's going to have on your body later. And all these is mass-produced and it's global in nature now.
You're waking up my fire inside now.
Yeah, let's make some food. Let's cook some real food on the fire.
No, about there is like the big company that actually control all the food chain, globalization of food market is like, of course, I will speak about Monsanto. but also it's association with buyer, that it's like one company just sell you food, control the seed and the transgenic, the patents. We are patenting life, that's one of the things. And so one company, it's like make you sick, and the other one try to make you healthy, but it keep you sick. So it's a system that they can just keep you, you know, no 100%. Because when you start to change your diet, and when you start to change your lifestyle, and when you are more connected with nature, and your body start to work better, and then you actually, other parts in your body start to create, to work better, the creativity, more vision, more connection with the universe. So it's very holistic. And when you are actually in this box of system, but where you are like busy working and eating anything, like just drinking coffee to keep going, you know, the stimulants, and then you just eat things that they make you feel good in that short time, but you don't see like the long effect that there is in your body. I'm very interested in like how you actually your work that is inside, that how it affects our health, because when you are like eating like good quality food, you feel actually more alive, and you feel like not heavy, you feel more creativity,
Sure.
you feel so good, and then you can actually create and just create and think a better life. And it's like improving your life. You improve inside you, and then you improve outside you, and it's like.
It is so true, you know what you say.
amazing.
Yeah, indeed, like your state of consciousness is highly impacted by food as well. You know, if you have a piece of chocolate, you change the way you feel immediately, right? And so whatever comes into your body has a hormonal effect, and also an effect on your neurotransmitters, which together form the cocktail, of chemicals that produce the way you feel. So to a certain extent, and from a very physiological perspective, your state of consciousness, right? So if you feed a 5-year-old highly processed, junk cereals in the morning, and this little toddler of 5 years old is not going to have the same energy or the same mind abilities, or the ability to focus because of the sugar, because of the processing of this cereal, etc., that a similar 5-year-old would have when he's fed fruit, vegetables, whole food, or a healthy, balanced breakfast instead, right? And then if you add all the stimulants you were talking about, like these soda drinks that contain caffeine, for instance. Sugar is such a powerful stimulant, and it's such an addictive substance. And all these junk food manufacturers love to put all types of sugar in it. They put in the dextrose, which is very, very quick to have an effect on your brain. High fructose corn syrup, which is very easy to produce, very sweet as well, which has a slightly different effect on the brain. Then they can use sucrose, or table sugar at the same time. And then, in some of the snackings, so I think of like these crisps, or like these corn chips, for instance, that people eat a lot, yeah? They might add MSG, monosodium glutamate. They're going to add a mixture of sugar and salt at the same time. All these things, I have the impression, are done to create some sort of flavoring, some sort of reaction of the brain that is very stimulating, and also that make these things really enticing, let's call them enticing. I mean, is this evident to people? I think so, but still I don't see anybody really doing anything about it. It's personal choice. They say it's personal choice. Like they say, we need to produce more food all the time. Right?
I tell you something about produce more. Actually, we produce more than double that we need. Like, if you say like you need like 2,500 megacalories per day, like depend your activity more or less, but this is in terms of energy, just energy speaking. Actually, we produce more than a double, because with the land and we are, they say produce more, okay, we already have more. But we lose 32% around from the countryside, from the farm until the consumer. So all the chain is losing food in the transportation, conservation, and even the consumer. It's like just throwing or leaving in the fridge, and it's
50% of food is wasted in America, about 40% in Europe. So 50% of food that people buy, they let it go off and they trash it. And the question is about producing more food. How about changing the culture around food consumption instead?
Yeah, it's more like appreciation for food. It's like we overproduce. So it's a lot, and it's like, and we really will not pay the real cost, because we just pay the economical cost, but there is an environment cost that we are not considering when we actually buy food. And an industrial food is cheaper, but why is cheaper? Because we are using the resources of soil that it was accumulating for thousands of years, and it was a work of microorganisms, was a work of mushrooms, was a work of insects. It was like creating all this fertile soil, and then we just...
So we established that indeed we are wasting a lot of food, and we established that a lot of the food that is produced industrially and processed is actually making us sick. So this is, I think, apparent to most people. And why is this? Well, I think the genuine idea behind all this industrialization of food was that we wanted to feed the world. You know, we come from many years of scarcity and famine, particularly in some parts of the world. So the whole effort was about producing, and I understand that, yeah. We get to a point, though, now where I think we produce a lot of food, we waste a lot of it, and the quality of the food is very poor because it's devoid of vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, because processed food, you know, is highly difficult for the body to metabolize properly, because it contains also waste products from metabolism and digestion that are toxins, pretty much. And these kind of foods have an impact on the endocrine system and the nervous system that can make people feel pretty bad, because it's not just that you're carrying a lot of weight and that doesn't help you, but as we said, if you eat healthy food or you eat unhealthy food, your state of consciousness, the way you feel and you perceive the world is different too, right? I can see it on myself.
Me too.
So this is established, right?
Yes.
The point is, what's the solution? I mean, how can we move from a monoculture mass production of food, where in a consumeristic society half of it is wasted, to a system which is more eco-friendly, more sustainable, less polluting for the environment and less polluting for ourselves? Is there a solution? I mean, a concrete, practical solution?
So there is like different techniques, different kind of agriculture that, because you can have organic agriculture, you can have biodynamic agriculture, you can have syntropic agriculture, agroecology. So there is different names, but in the same we want the same. We just want produce with nature and creating life. The most I'm connected and I would discover like more holistic and with this philosophy and vision, like integrating in real systems that I was seeing like many places in Brazil. They work with agroforestry, and it's in the concept of syntropic agriculture. So we are actually part of the system. So our biological function in the system is we're creating life. In this kind of system, there is it's more complex. There is it's more diverse. So you have polyculture. So you have different strains of productions, and also you use natural succession of the plants. So in the beginning, if you have an area that it's degraded, in the beginning, you're gonna put a lot of energy. You're gonna put like maybe some external compost, organic material from outside, just for the beginning. And then you're gonna plant, and you're gonna plant different strains of plants. So you're gonna use like the herbs and bigger trees and bigger trees, and then you're gonna have actually very complex relationship, because some plants actually help to grow other plants and prepare the soil and prepare the environment to the next ones. So it's like in nature, like the natural succession is how it's all the process how a forest was created. So they have the first plant, they call it the pioneers. So they came and they just need like a little fertility. They like very rustic. They can grow, you know, like with not so much water. Like, so these plants start to create the first process, and then start to come and prepare for other plants came. So this actually it's very how do you say smart practice that Ernest Koch was development in Brazil and was restoring many systems. So with this system, actually, you have it's organic. It's everything organic. Organic. Be careful with organic. I just want to. Sometimes I watch also a system that was organic, but they still using the same concept of industrial agriculture in the way that we use external resources to feed. So we use, like, instead of use fertilizers or pesticides, we use compost, or we use
manure from animals, no?
Yeah, compost, manure, but you still like feeding the system from outside and then get a product. So that is one step.
That's okay.
That
already,
is
no?
okay. Yeah, we are really like doing like the use all natural.
Yeah.
But the next step, it's when you watch and you work holistic, and so when you study the permaculture. So when you actually you see the system, and then all the resources and all the energy actually came from the same system. So you have like more interactions, and you can actually like create something that it's like more energy efficiency, and also it's more about the design of the system, and also like and more relationship with the water, with the plants, and also you don't have only one product, you have different products.
Yeah.
So the answer for that, for me, it's like syntropic agriculture, biodynamic agriculture, permaculture, and that is the system. And now, speaking you like a consumer, you're gonna looking for like local production, fresh.
Let's hope that these very interesting concepts of more sustainable agriculture can be taken on and made more widespread in the world, you know. I don't know if you watch the news, I really don't, but recently somebody was telling me that there's all sorts of news about food scarcity coming these days, you know. I don't know. I know that also like large plots of land, agricultural land, were acquired by famous billionaires in the United States. So there is something happening with agriculture, and we can only hope that it's going to be something positive, right? Well, in the meantime, I think we're going to have a lovely salad lunch now. I got some amazing green leafy vegetables from Thailand. You know, there's something called the coriander, obviously everybody knows, cilantro, yeah. But also there's culantro, which is a Thai herb. It's a short green Thai herb, which is lovely in salads. Also, I like to add gotu kola to my salads, you know. And I like to put some fruit in it too. So we're going to have a lovely salad and fresh lunch now, with all produce coming from the local shop here, which I really hope is as local as maybe as far as Suratani, the provincial town here. But I don't know what's going to happen with agriculture. We can only decide the kind of food that we put in our plates and the kind of food we feed our children with. So the best thing is try not to waste any food, respect food as something that gives lives. Think that whatever you eat is going to become you, literally, and you know, go whole, go local, go organic if you can, but don't buy junk food. Just get rid of this rubbish, you know. Just don't feed your children with junk food. I know that the advertising is there, maybe the peer pressure from other kids is there, but you know, a food culture cannot be bought at a supermarket, but it can be learned, I think, you know. So I know that your family, they run a restaurant as well, is that right?
Yes.
See, I come also from a family of foodies. My mom was an housewife, she cooked a lot. So we are kind of lucky in that sense because we were brought up with real food. If you are brought up with junk food, you know, there's a little bit more of a learning curve to go through, but it is really important because it's about you and about the earth at the same time.
Yeah, it's your medicine. You know, you can actually connect with food, and it's not only food. It's also like, and it's covering also like other like tea and herbs that actually we was using like plants, medicines for years. Even like cacao, like we actually lost this sacred connection with plants and with nature. We lost this, you know, appreciation for Mother Earth, for Pachamama, for, you know, like bringing us like nutrition, bringing us everything that we need, and we can actually just give back a little bit of that love that she, you know, hold us in this world. And it's just make a little choice, a little change, and you change inside, and you can exchange and share this with people, and you can experiment through your experience, through your like real experience. You can actually feel all this, and you can, yeah, and get the wisdom of the experience, and then you can share with other people, and it's like you're gonna improve your life, you're gonna improve your quality life, and also like then your relationship with the world, with the universe. It's like it's deeper, just you know, feed our its body, it's body, mind, spirit, consciousness. It's wow, it's a holistic work that I decided like years ago to go to this path, and it's like I'm learning a little bit more and more and more and more, and I can go deeper, you know, and I can go from myself and inside and then outside, so I can see like nature and different systems. And for example, permaculture is not only you need to have a farm and you need to like have a community. Also, it's a lifestyle choice.
Well, Sophie, thank you very much for sharing, you know, your knowledge and passion for this more sustainable type of agriculture. And kapun kap.
Kapun kap.